we control situations, when we try to control the outcome of situations, we are in our masculine energy. We are not in feminine energy. God is a girl dad. God will handle everything, and I surrender to him. I completely let him handle everything, and it always works out. Be in your soft feminine energy. Stop trying to control the outcome. Stop trying to figure everything out. You don't have to figure everything out. It changes your appearance. You come off as more masculine. Your energy comes off as more masculine, and you, yourself, your face looks more masculine. Treat your energy beautifully. Start taking bubble baths. Take your time. Make a smoothie in the morning. Like, slow down. Rushing implies lack, and it's only sending out that you are in lack. When you stop rushing, you move with more femininity. You don't really need to be like, I gotta get here, you start moving with more femininity. It's just something that happens in your energy when you just slow down. Take chlorophyll vitamins. This is not TikTok shop or anything like that. When I sweat in the gym, I do not smell myself. I do not smell any bodily secretion anymore. Your breath smells fresher. Everything that comes out of you smells fresher. Chlorophyll is a natural deodorizer. It breaks down bad bacteria in your body. It cleans up your gut. Always make sure you smell good. It doesn't matter if you cannot afford nice fancy perfumes. Go to Bath & Body Works. I know a lot of people, they hate Bath & Body Works and they say that it's for little girls. I don't care. Every time I pass somebody, everybody always tells me I smell good. I always make sure I smell good. I want to make sure I smell feminine and light. I spray those little scents everywhere. I spray it on myself when I get out of the shower. I spray it on my bed sheets. Like, I really love smelling good. I like smelling light. I like smelling delicate. And people remember that too. It triggers memories. Scent triggers memories. It's always nice to have the nice perfumes and the fancy perfumes. But for everyday wear, I'm going to go to Bath & Body Works. I'm going to find something that blends with my body chemistry, and I'm going to wear it. Every single day, I get a compliment on how I smell.
Things I do to keep me feeling feminine and pretty pink princess, part 2. Keep lip gloss on you at all times. You need a lip gloss for your car, you need a lip gloss for your purse, you need a lip gloss for your nightstand. Keep it on you. A post-shower nighttime routine is a must. It doesn't need to be 25 steps, even just something as simple as lotion and a nice skincare routine with some cute little pajamas. Pink. My favorite color has always been green. It's pink now because it makes me feel like a princess. Getting in the sun. I know we are in the winter time right now, unfortunately. If you can go on a little tropical vacation sometime soon, prioritize that because vitamin D literally boosts your mood, and I always feel sexier when I'm tan. Right now it's giving mostly ghostly, but I will be on somebody's island by next month. Let these men do things for you. It's okay to let a man walk in front of you to open the door for you. 9 times out of 10, they want to do that anyway. Like, if you're out in the store and you can't reach something or something's too heavy, excuse me, sir, could you please help me with this? Simple. You don't need to try to do it all. Let them do it. It's literally what they're here for. Try not to do masculine things too much. It's good to know how to do things, but you don't always have to be the one to do them, because I'm not touching a fucking tool, okay? Go dilly-dallying. I'm not saying spend money. This is when discipline comes in, okay? Just go walk through Ulta. Look at some things, smell some perfumes, add some stuff to your wish list, even if you're not buying it then and there. It's always a girly feeling to walk into an establishment that all the other girls are in. Play around with some makeup, do some stuff. You don't have to spend money to go dilly-dallying. This one I just started recently. When you're cooking, and I'm not saying you gotta do this every time because cooking is a lot, especially if you get overstimulated like I do. But sometimes when you cook in lingerie with a cute little robe, put some heels on or some cute little slippers. Just try it. You'll feel sexy. You'll feel really girly. And lastly, give yourself occasions to dress up. You don't have to wait until an occasion is brought to you. Dress up whenever you want. Go somewhere fancy. Even if it's by yourself, go to a fancy restaurant once a month and take pictures. Stop looking so good these days and not giving everybody else the beautiful luxury of seeing how fine you look. Take pictures. Document that shit. Guys, seriously, this is like the cutest thing. I love this. And the bow, girly.
As a feminine woman, these are 10 things that I would never do. Number 1, I would never, ever, under no circumstances, and don't be mad at me, but I would never go out in a bonnet or in pajamas or just looking unpresentable. Ever since I was younger, my mom would always tell us, you never know who you're gonna run into. So always look at least presentable. What if you run into your husband? And granted, your husband should love you, you know, in your purest form. But what if you run into your future husband? What if you run into your ex-boyfriend with his new girl and you're looking like you just rolled out of bed? No. No. What if you run into someone who could give you a really great job and you look busted and crusty and just unpresentable? So rule number 1, never go out looking crazy. I would never fish for compliments or ask my partner, do I look good? Do you like this dress? Do you think this looks good? Because you give him the power to tear you down. Because if he's in a bad mood, he could just be like, no, you actually look terrible today. And then you're gonna cry about it. So instead of doing that, just give yourself that validation. Go in the mirror and tell yourself how good you look. Take some pictures of yourself. And if you do that now, just stop. He's gonna be like, why aren't you asking me how good you look anymore? She must know she looks good. Begging for compliments is always going to lower your self-worth. So get your validation from yourself and tell yourself internally that you're beautiful, and then it'll radiate from the inside out. This is pretty self-explanatory, but if my toes aren't done, I'm not wearing open-toed shoes. Next. Another thing that I would never do as a feminine woman is I would never get defensive, act jealous, or accuse people, because that just ultimately lowers you. It makes you use up all your precious energy. I would much rather choose peace. I'm always gonna remain aloof, and if you didn't directly say, Taylor, I hate that you do blah blah blah, and you just say, I hate when she does whatever, I'm just gonna be like, okay. I'm not gonna act like or assume that it's about me, because why would I want to waste my energy on that? I am never going to rush. I'm never going to rush anything. I'm never going to look at someone and then hurry up and look away. When I'm walking towards someone, I'm always going to look them in the eye and I'm going to smile. In those situations, examine how you feel. How does it feel to walk past someone and you look at them and then you hurry up and look away? You feel a little bit anxious, right? You're like, ooh, did they just look at me? I hope I didn't look at them weird. You have all these internal thoughts. But instead, if you own that and you just look at them and you smile and you hold it just until it's a little bit uncomfortable, you're gonna have so much more power, and you're gonna be like, ooh, it's gonna give you the confidence that you didn't know you had, I promise you. But in general, I'm just not rushing anything. I'm not rushing interactions, conversations with people, my movements, my speech. I'm rushing nothing, and I'm taking everything slow, like a dainty little gazelle. Enjoy every experience and make the world your own place, like your own world. Like nobody else exists but you. And this is how you become magnetic and you just irradiate such As a feminine woman, I'm never gonna get into a physical altercation, because you put your hands on me, I'm calling the police. I just feel like fighting is not classy. If you have to fight, then okay, whatever. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not fighting, ever. I will never be rude to another woman. I'll never degrade another woman. Never talk down on another woman. I will never be rude to anyone, woman or man, just because, or at all. That is not feminine. That's not classy. You always want to be an experience to be around. Girl, we are not ever going to prove our worth to a man. We're never gonna try and be like, oh, but I do this and I cook and I clean and I'm such a good girl and you would love me. And no, I'm never going to try and prove my worth to a man. That just makes you masculine. We want to stay feminine. We want to stay soft. We want to stay pursued. A man will see your worth just from the get-go. I am never going to deny help. You want to lift that off the shelf for me? Go ahead. You want to do whatever X, Y, and Z for me? Yeah, thank you so much. I love when you do these things for me. I am never going to deny help. Another thing that I would never do is be in the presence of someone who makes me feel like my femininity or my softness is too much for them, or that makes me feel like I have to put up a wall when I'm around them, or that I have to speak fast, or that I have to be anything less than being feminine and being soft. Anyone that makes me feel like I have to constantly defend myself or toughen up, I'm not going to subject myself to that kind of energy or that kind of presence. No, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, and lastly, what I'm not ever going to do as a feminine woman is use vulgar or profane language. I'm not cursing, I'm not saying the F word, I'm not saying the P word, I'm not saying anything that's short of classy. I'm not saying it. Even if it's a raunchy word, no, I'm not saying it. Only sweet things come from this mouth. So yeah, those are 10 things that I would never do as a feminine or classy woman. I'll see you next time.
I like to think of myself as a very feminine woman, and I get told a lot that I'm a very feminine woman. So I feel like these are 3 basic things that you should always do if you're trying to be a feminine woman. Number 1, you should always have your hair done. You should never be walking around like with a stick of head. Like, you should never be walking around with your hair looking crazy. I don't care if your hair is just pulled back in a slick bun. You should always have your hair done. And stop going outside with that bonnet on. I don't care what y'all say. Stop going outside with that bonnet on. 2, you need to invest in perfumes. I'm not talking about that Bath and Body Works. Bath and Body Works is for when you get out the shower at night, or maybe you're just walking around the house. You need to invest in perfume. And maybe you just want a signature scent. Maybe you want multiple. That's up to you. But you need to invest in a scent, a good scent. 3, if you speak very aggressively, you need to work on that. Like, no feminine woman is speaking very aggressively. And I'm not saying you can't be upset sometimes. You can't speak assertively. I'm not saying that thing. I'm just saying don't speak aggressively. And I feel like keep curse words to a minimum. Bonus point, if all you listen to is NBA Youngboy, Gunna, all of that, girl, come on now. Come on. And you wonder why you so aggressive? Come on. And I'm not saying you can't listen to that anymore. I'm just saying, like, get some soft music. Soften up.
Okay, so if you've watched part 1, and if you haven't, don't worry, you can still watch part 2 and it's gonna flow just fine. Just make sure to watch part 1 after this video. But if you watch part 1, you already know that on this channel, we're not here for surface level femininity. We're really here for true, deep, internal work femininity. And after watching these clips, I want to go even deeper this time. Because what I'm noticing and what research actually supports is that feminine energy is less about how you look and more about how you regulate who you are as a woman and as a person in general. There's a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. You know, I like to come with the facts over here. Okay, so that study really shows that people who practice emotional regulation are perceived as more attractive, as more competent, and more socially intelligent over time. So that is extremely interesting, and I think we should dive deeper into that, because online I find that sometimes feminine energy is often reduced, watered down to aesthetics, soft voices, soft movement, curated lifestyles, those kind of things. But neuroscience, let's focus on the science. Neuroscience shows that nervous system stability directly impacts how people experience your presence, and a lot of femininity is that, and many of what the ladies explained at the beginning of the video has a lot to do with neuroscience, has a lot to do with the way you present yourself, starting with your nervous system. So what does that mean? That simply means that when your cortisol levels are chronically high due to stress, your body language tightens, and it shows externally because your tone may be sharper, maybe you may react easier, maybe your face holds a little bit more tension. But when your nervous system is regulated, your movements are slower naturally because you are more aligned with who you are and your inner child is not triggered constantly. And if you see that happens a lot and you're constantly out of your feminine, analyze what's triggering that. Analyze what's triggering that and try to remove yourself from those situations or change the situation. Because if you don't do that, your speech it'll show in the way you talk. It'll show in the way you present yourself, in the way you sit, because energy holds in the movements that you make. So that glow that people talk about, it's a lot of it is biology. So for part 2, it's really about embodiment. It's not about imitation. So in the clips that we just watched together, you probably noticed the themes. Some of it was boundaries, self-worth was a huge part of it, softness, detachment, elegance. But here's what most people don't talk about. Feminine energy requires structure, really good structure. So with that in mind, there's research from behavioral psychology showing that identity shifts only stick when there's reinforcement, specifically when they are reinforced through consistent habits
and environmental designs. So that simply means that if you want to embody softness, calm, receptivity, you need systems that support that. So that means that you can't be chronically overwhelmed and expect to radiate peace, joy, and femininity. It's going to be challenging to do that. You can't say that you value softness but live in chaos. And if you see that that happens often, you need to remove yourself from those situations, from those people. Try your best, because your health matters and it's going to show in the way you present yourself, right? So that's actually why my personal digital guides that I made goes way deeper than what we see on social media. And I've been building this guide since 2025. It took me months because I wanted it to be structured. And inside it, I break down nervous system regulation. I break down emotional discipline, how to do it and how to use it to level up in your life. Boundary frameworks, identity reprogramming, daily embodiment rituals, communication shifts, environmental psychology, and how to balance feminine receptivity with masculine structure. Because remember, we all have feminine and masculine energy. We just need to learn how to balance the two. And my guide teaches you how to do that. Because femininity without structure becomes fragility. And there's a huge distinction here. People may think that femininity equals fragility. Absolutely not. A feminine woman is a strong woman in who she is. And hear this out. Structure without femininity becomes rigidity. The power here is balance. Again, all you need is balance. And my guide teaches that. And again, just to say very clearly, the people shown in the clips earlier are not affiliated with me or my guides in any way. And I'm sure you probably already know this, but just to be clear, they're not representing my program and they're not selling anything on my behalf. The clips were just used for commentary and discussion purposes only. And many of the concepts are universal foundations and fundamentals of femininity that are widely discussed in psychology and personal development spaces. So my guide simply expands on those fundamentals and those foundations in a much deeper step-by-step way. And it teaches you how to use your femininity to level up and to elevate in your life. I mean, financially, even your fashion, your aesthetics, everything. So if you're personally serious about embodying this, not just watching it, it's available on my Shopify and the link is in my description box and also in my bio. That link is clickable. And I say this confidently, if you apply it, it will absolutely transform your life because it has transformed mine. Again, it's not just about aesthetics, it's about being intentional. Now I want to hear your thoughts. What made you want to start your femininity journey? What is your opinion on femininity in general in online spaces, how it's being represented? I want to hear your thoughts and I want us to have a chit chat in the comment section below. Please like this video if you want part 3. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you very soon. Bye.